In my Liverpool home, we speak with an accent exceedingly rare, meet under a statue exceedingly bare. One of the big shops has a statue, and it's a great gigantic statue of a naked man. So in the song, we meet under a statue exceedingly bare. It's a shop called Lewis's, and they've got a great big statue. So it goes, in my Liverpool, we speak with an accent exceedingly rare. We meet under a statue exceedingly bare. If you want a cathedral, we've got one to spare, because we've got two. In my Liverpool home. And that's it. Okay? So, Liverpool is a city in the northwest of England. It is on the eastern banks of the River Mersey. On the other side of the river is a town called Birkenhead. And underneath, joining Liverpool and Birkenhead, underneath the River Mersey, is a tunnel. And when it was built, it was the longest underneath a river tunnel in the world. We think Liverpool is quite famous worldwide for a number of different reasons. One of them is because it is a World Heritage Site at the seafront, at the riverfront, I should say, rather than the seafront, the riverfront. And there's an area of buildings which are called the Three Graces, three different buildings. One of the buildings is called the Liver Buildings. And on top of the Liver Buildings stand two great big iron birds. And we don't call them the liver birds, we call them the liver birds. And they are mythological creatures. And the story goes that if these birds fly away, that's the end of the city of Liverpool. Okay. We've also, in Liverpool, got two cathedrals. One which was built in about 1930, and that's the Church of England Cathedral, the Anglican Cathedral. And the second one is the Catholic Cathedral, which is very much more of a modern building. And it's known locally as Paddy's Wigwam, because there's a strong Irish connection with Liverpool, and also it looks a little bit like a wigwam. We're also famous, I guess, for being the birthplace of the Beatles. And the Beatles themselves started playing, it is said, in a club called the Cavern Club. And should you go to Liverpool today, and should you visit the Cavern Club that you visit isn't the Cavern Club. The original Cavern Club was knocked down in a building, I don't know, 20, 30 years ago, and as a consequence, a version of the Cavern Club was built sort of across the road, really. It's only a matter of metres away from the original. Okay? But if you go to it, it very much is like the Cavern Club was in the 1960s. We've also, as well as having a tunnel underneath the River Mersey, we've also got a ferry that goes backwards and forwards across the Mersey. And it was made famous, we think, by a group who were around at the same time as the Beatles, called Jerry and the Pacemakers, called Ferry Across the Mersey. And Jerry and the Pacemakers were the band who sang the Liverpool Football Club anthem, You'll Never Walk Alone. We pinched it from there. Also, Liverpool is famous for having the very first commercial rail service in the world. And it used to go from, still does really, from Liverpool to Manchester. We have sayings, as well as having an accent, we also have sayings. And some of the sayings are sayings like this. One is, he's got a gob. I'm saying it in a posh accent here, they wouldn't say it like this. He's got a gob like the river, sorry, I'll say that again. He's got a gob like the Mersey Tunnel, which means he's very loud. Because if you go to the Mersey Tunnel, there's a big entrance, and a gob is a mouth. So if you say to somebody, you've got a gob like the Mersey Tunnel, it means you're very loud and very brash and very, well, okay. Or, and I'm actually quoting a Spanish football player here who told this story. He was doing his English lessons, went to the training ground, and he heard the words said, "That's boss, that la." And what, I'll say that slowly, that's boss, that la. Okay? So that's boss. If something's boss in Liverpool, it means it's great, fabulous, wonderful. And we use the phrase la to mean lad. And lad is a word which we say, if I met you in the street, for example, I'd say, "How are you doing, lad?" But I wouldn't say lad, I'd say la. Okay? Or people, particularly from Liverpool, would say that. Okay? That's boss, that la means that's great. That's very good. Okay? And another phrase which often happens when I go and watch Liverpool Football Club is that my friend and we go in a car, we have a car parking spot, and by the car parking spot, not an official car park, but just a bit of space, there are always boys of about range from about 8 or 9 years to about 15 to 16 years who sit on bicycles, and as you get out of the car, of your car, they say to anybody who parks, "Mind your car, mate." And mind your car, mate means if we don't scratch your car when you've gone to the football match and you give us some money when you get back, your car will be okay. So we give them £3, about €4 after the game, okay? They're always there. And, go slightly off here, their pockets are full of money. Yeah, I think they're very rich. In my Liverpool home, we speak with an accent exceedingly rare, meet under a statue exceedingly bare. One of the big shops has a statue, and it's a great gigantic statue of a naked man. So in the song, we meet under a statue exceedingly bare. It's a shop called Lewis's, and they've got a great big statue. So it goes, in my Liverpool, we speak with an accent exceedingly rare. We meet under a statue exceedingly bare. If you want a cathedral, we've got one to spare, because we've got 2. In my Liverpool home. And that's it.